All right, so welcome back, episode number 46, No Cap Sports Podcast, man. Josh, go on get us started with that fire, man.
Appreciate you, Nick. First of all, I got to shout out, my Melrose Wildcats. Shout out to my grandma. She just, started kicking it with guys. So we do a lot of stuff around that. But irregardless, DMX is in a lot of trouble. And there's been a lot of misinformation and speculation going on. So TMZ reported less than 2 hours ago that he's, quote, in a vegetative state. He has been on and off life support. So I guess that decision has to be made for him at some point. But the crazy thing, like Van said right before we started, his manager was fed some bad information, and that was what got leaked, to social media and all that. A big spiral with the DMX. When I say DMX, what's the first thing that I think of? Because he's not really, not relevant, but he's just not making a ton of music currently. So what do y'all think about when y'all think of DMX?
Childhood, bro. That makes me think of the Little Bow Wow era, young Lil Wayne era, bro. Like right before T.R. started popping, bro. He was literally in that era. He carried the early 2000s.
Nah, for real. Rough Riders, all that stuff. You see the little clips on Twitter, how many, the concerts and things like that back in, early 2000s, I guess the golden age of hip-hop, really, for a lot of artists. So it's just sad that he got addicted. He's been addicted to drugs this whole time because somebody, that he was influenced by. So, but what you guys say, Nick?
I was about to say, whenever somebody says DMX, bro, the first thing I think about is that concert. I can't remember what concert it was, but literally it seemed like the whole world was there, bro. And it came out there in the red overalls, performing the Rough Rider anthem, bro. That's always, you say DMX, bro, that's what you think about. And that just shows you, the profound impact he had, not only on hip-hop, but on the world overall.
Exactly. So, prayers up for DMX.
Monday night, I know we all watched it, national championship game between Baylor and Gonzaga. I got to hand it to Vance, predicted the winner correctly. He only said they win by 3, though. And I think that game took us all by surprise. Baylor ends up winning 86-70, really dominating Gonzaga. But for this conversation, I want to start out by talking about Gonzaga and talking about that game versus UCLA in the Final Four game. They won 93-90. So do you guys think that that's one of the greatest games in college basketball history? And if so, where would y'all rank it?
It is the greatest game in college basketball history. So you got all the good games. It's been a lot of great games, buzzer beaters, this and that. But this game was so high. It was a bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. They going at Suggs and what is his name? Juzang. They going back and forth, back and forth. You got the two bigs, Timme and the big for Marquez Jr. for UCLA. Oh my goodness, bro. It was a great game, bro. Stars were made, definitely.
Yeah, I say the same thing. Especially when everybody has the same reaction at the a game like that. I definitely say to classify as an instant classic. Like you said, high scoring, 93-90. UCLA came into the tournament on a 4-game losing streak, and for them, to come out as, like you said, producing stars, it was interesting to go up against a Gonzaga team that I guess seemed undefeatable, unstoppable when they played them. So I guess really it was an instant classic, but I guess it should have been a sign of things to come, or not looking in hindsight 2020.
I find it interesting that you say a sign of things to come because you play a overtime game, not only an overtime game, but a highly emotional game like that in the Final Four. Then you come into the national championship. Do you think fatigue or the layover from that game kind of impacted Gonzaga's performance in that national championship game?
Bro, that was gonna happen regardless. I don't care if Gonzaga played 3 back-to-backs, bro. That game was gonna be a ass whooping. That's period, point blank, bro. The closest game Baylor played was 9 points in this whole tournament. Think about it. Yeah. 9 points. They win by double on average by 13 points every game, bro. Baylor was gonna do them dirty regardless. They were the best team in the country, and that's why they won.
But adding on to that, bro, like you say, Baylor, the closest game they played was 9 points, bro. Gonzaga, every game they've played this year, bro, they won by double digits, all games except for 2. And that was the win over UCLA, and the other one was their victory over BYU. Every game they've won this season was by double digits except for those 2, bro. So you say that, Baylor kind of took care of business, but Gonzaga did that too. So now talking about the game, what were y'all's initial takeaways from that game, bro? Because I think it's a game that nobody really saw coming in that fashion.
Baylor lives with the football team. The way they it, bro. Oh my God, bro. That first half was ridiculous. They probably out rebounded them by how many? Probably about 10 plus.
They had 10 offensive rebounds, and then Gonzaga had 9 total rebounds.
They definitely punked them boys out, bro. It was it wasn't even, as close as it was. It was a 10-point game. It felt like Baylor was up by 25 at halftime.
Hey, facts, bro. Because the Gonzaga had one on that mini run to close it 2-10 at halftime. But, oh, my. It was just ugly, bro, because, like, you just look at Baylor, bro. The 3 guards, Butler, Mitchell, and Teague, bro. Gonzaga had no answer for either one of them, bro. And I think, like, watching this game, bro, like, Baylor dominated from the jump, jumping out to 16-4, bro. And I think that's really because of their head coach, Scott Drew, bro. He really outcoached Mark Few this game, bro. Like, that was one of the things I noticed off rip. Like, Mark Few tried to play zone to stop, all the outside shooting and dribble drive penetration. Well, guess what Scott Drew does? He puts MaCio Teague in the middle. He scores 7 straight points from the mid-range free throw extended area. Okay, cool. So you try to go back to man. They just let that dribble drive work. The 3 guards, like I said, Butler, Mitchell, and Teague attacked the basket, created shots, found open teammates, just got that offense going. And then for Mark Few on offense, they started to get some momentum going. Of course, they had their big 3 and Jalen Suggs, Kispert, and Drew Timme. So guess what Scott Drew does to counteract that? He uses those 3 centers, throws them all out there, lets them get their run. Since he got 3 centers, they can all foul, and one of them ended up fouling out. But I think that Scott Drew really came into this game with a solid plan, executed it well.
But I would say our coach is a stretch. I just feel like more was a matchup issue. That here's the end of the day, Baylor came out 5-5-3. I guess closing out better as an option, but there was nothing really good. Mark Few, Jalen Suggs, anybody from Baylor or Gonzaga team could do about that. They shoot 7-12. That's 60% from the 3 in the first half. That's you hope that's abnormal. That's not a sustainable percentage. What I'm trying to say. So that's the first thing you shoot, especially in today's era when 3-ball controls the game. Shooting that well from 3, that's something that a team is doing. It's going to be pretty hard to earn them out. I think Jalen Suggs really struggled in the first half. I think that Davion Mitchell did a better job of him than a lot of people predicted. He was Big 12 Player of the Year for a reason. And I think he definitely solidified himself as a lottery pick after that performance. But I don't think that the only plus defender that Gonzaga had was Suggs, and I just don't think that it was as big of a problem up until this game. Who was the best guard that Gonzaga even played before now? Gonzaga. We just he was a Kentucky reject.
It was the beginning though. It's just they haven't played anybody once they got in conference play. That's the thing. But then again, they still play. The talent, who you play does not matter, bro. It's just about. I think they just got lost to a better team. They should have played.
Baylor's played can't cut him 3 times. Gonzaga hasn't played nobody to that type of effect. You go into it, especially you go into a conference like the WCC. You're going to expect to win every night. They're not playing any game changers. They're not playing anybody that's really going to prepare them for the tournament, honestly. So Gonzaga's nice, but I don't think he's a lottery pick. He doesn't jump on. Is he how much better is he than somebody like Alonzo Trier? So I feel like looking at somebody like Gonzaga who UCLA's main guy, but it's just not an off the charts NBA prospect. Him having success the way he did against Gonzaga should have told us Baylor was gonna go off the way they did.
All right, so December 5th, Gonzaga was supposed to play Baylor.
Yeah.
If you would have played that game, do you think the outcome of this game would have been different?
Not at all. I think the outcome would have been the same, and I think Gonzaga would have came into the tournament with a loss on their record. Baylor did have those COVID issues early in the year. Maybe that would have kind of spared Gonzaga because that's the reason why the game was canceled, because of Baylor's COVID issues. But I think in the end, especially when Baylor started picking up steam, through the Big 12 tournament and into the NCAA tournament, I think the same result would have happened because this Baylor team is, in my opinion, legit. Talking about Gonzaga's previous games this season, bro. Even though they're in the WCC, they played a number of tournament teams throughout the regular season. You look at Virginia, you look at Iowa, West Virginia. All these were games that
Kansas,
exactly. All these were games that Gonzaga played and won en route to an undefeated record and an NCAA tournament appearance. So I think it's fair to say, of course, the WCC you expect to win every night. But they kind of got battle tested throughout the regular season, playing some, blue blood programs and getting those wins. But I just think this Baylor team was hands down a better team, like Van said. Like, there's nothing you can do because their big three definitely outplayed Gonzaga's big three of Timme, Kispert, and Suggs, and that's no question. And so moving on, are you more impressed by Baylor or are you more disappointed by Gonzaga? Talking about a Gonzaga team that had a chance to go undefeated on the whole season, looking for their first national championship in program history, and had won all games except for 2 by double digits all year.
I definitely gotta say I was more impressed by Baylor. You got 3 transfers. MaCio Teague comes from a Big South program. Butler and Davion Mitchell both come from P5 programs, Alabama and Auburn. But we all saw them do the Big 12 and do the conference tournament, even up to the the NCAA tournament. But I guess that not enough people were paying attention. Not enough people were really locked into this game. I mean, you have Jalen Suggs, certified, bona fide top 5 pick, and to see that Davion Mitchell was able to, not only Davion Mitchell, but all of the Baylor guard really were able to get physical and bother him in ways that, nobody did before this game was impressive and opened a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that, Josh. Looking at Baylor, man, they came out attacking Gonzaga, and I think that was really the difference in the game. Not only did they attack them on defense, they also attacked the offensive glass, and, that led to a lot of easy buckets early in the game as they opened up that 16-4 lead. And I'm talking about Baylor some more, bro. They led for double digits for all but 90 seconds of the game, bro.
And you had been losing by double digits for that long in this season.
Exactly, bro. That's crazy, really? Bro. That's crazy to think about, bro. And so, like you said, Josh, I'm more impressed by this Baylor team. You look at Jared Butler, 22 points. First player since Melo did it in 2003 to have 20-plus points and 7 assists in a national championship game. Davion Mitchell comes in 15 points, 5 assists. MaCio Teague, 19 points, and he was a big key in that game, like I said, in 7 consecutive points when Gonzaga tried to play zone. These 3 guys really came in and got the job done. And shout out to those bigs who protected the rim and really kept Drew Timme on lock.
I like what the way. I don't want it to be a sweep and saying we all impressed by Baylor, but I'm gonna have to do it, bro. It's one of those things. It's just like in football, bro. It's like when a group of 5 team is undefeated and they think they can compete with Alabama. It's like, come on, bro. Let's come back to reality. Baylor, they had 4 guards scoring double digits. 4 guards. And compared to Gonzaga, they had their big 3 did their thing. Suggs, he went over his average for points per game. Kispert and Timme, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. Timme and Suggs were actually in foul trouble in that first half. Drew Timme only had 12 points on 5 for 7 shooting. But I think goes a lot towards the way the pace of the game was going, bro.
Yeah,
owning him. But it wasn't really his fault. It was they were getting the switches that they needed. So they were drawing Timme away from the goal when it was time to get a rebound. You got 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" guys over there crashing the boards. You slowing the game down. He didn't get his shots in because they didn't get their rebounds. And Baylor just played the better. They had the better game plan and the better players. Honestly, if they played a 7-game series, Baylor would win in 4, maybe 5.
Clean sweep, bro. Because of the defensive intensity they brought, bro. Like watching the game, Gonzaga had to work for every shot they got, bro. Like they had to really work, bro. I'm talking late in the shot clocks type thing, bro. I gotta hand it to them, bro.
The only thing I'll say is if they played a 7-game series, I don't think that Baylor shoot the way they did like that for the 4 games consecutively.
They gonna rebound the way they did, though.
There's a reason why Butler, Davion Mitchell, there's just not automatic top 10 guys. Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell came off the bench at Auburn. He wasn't shooting. The thing is his shoot percentage really jumped this year. So, he's always been able to play defense, but for him, Butler, MaCio Teague, all those guys to shoot like that in the biggest game of their lives, I congrats to them. But if they played a 7-game, I don't think, man, you think they'll shoot 5 for 5 in the first half every game?
I think that
first 10 minutes
every game. I think they'll get 10 more shots than Gonzaga.
Timme look a little frustrated. Kispert didn't really shoot his best. Suggs obviously didn't play as well. I mean, if you want to say Baylor is a lot better than them, I have no problem with that. But they shot the ball really well. They made their best.
Gonzaga shot the ball better. Baylor shot 44% from the field. Gonzaga shot 51%.
Fact. I mean, I'm just saying, bro, you can say that Baylor's not going to shoot like that again. But the big thing with that Baylor team is the fact that those guards were able to create their own shot. It wasn't the fact that they were just catching and shooting threes. It was the fact that they were able to create their own shot. And they were able to create room to shoot threes because they were blowing by Gonzaga defenders all day, too.
How about this? I like all three of them, MaCio Teague, Jared Butler, and Davion Mitchell. But I can say this, and I think I'm pretty sure I'll be right. All three of those guys were better college players than Jalen Suggs. But I think Jalen Suggs would be the better NBA player out of those four guys.
I mean Suggs was the best player in the game yesterday, if we keep him to the stat.
Who was the best player in the game yesterday?
Suggs. Him and Butler were going head to head. It was the rest of the players that was deciding the fate of the game.
I mean, I don't think it's fair to call Suggs the best player in that game yesterday because he had those 2 early fouls. I give him that, bro. But he did not score until there was, 6 minutes left in the first quarter? And he didn't get his first field goal until it was 5 minutes left in the first quarter, bro. Yes, he finished with 22, bro. But a lot of those 22 were, let's just say,
yeah, like he almost came back. Baylor was up 19, 20, 16, 17 most of the half, and they closed on them to keep it within 10.
They cut it down to 9, and then Baylor went on an 8-0 run like that, and that just ended the game.
They went on a 15-4 run, bro, to close it out and push the lead back to 20, bro.
But so I mean, if you replace Suggs and Butler, if they switch teams, I think it would be the same outcome.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Suggs was the best player on that court yesterday.
Definitely not.
Facts.
I'm not gonna argue with that, bro. But now that you said that, bro, I kind of want to shift this conversation and talk about, we saw the performances of Suggs, of Timme, and of Kispert in the national championship game. So how do you think that game affects each player's draft stock as we look towards the NBA draft coming up soon?
Drew Timme game was already not NBA friendly. He doesn't block a lot of shots. He doesn't rebound the ball. He doesn't just rebound the ball that efficiently. So I think they kind of really certified themselves as I'm not an NBA big, if you feel what I'm saying. It just the physicality, the way that Baylor bothered him, his inability to really do anything outside of the high post or in the low post, it kind of really certified him as somebody who's going to be a good college player, but not a pro guy. Not the NBA guy. He might make some money overseas. That's
facts. I think he does have nice footwork, but without the ability to shoot and the ability to really defend in the paint, I don't think he's definitely not a first-round guy. He might be a late second-round guy just because of the way he kind of dominated the college game, but I can't see him turning into a NBA star, if you get what I'm saying.
I'm not going to disrespect. He could be a role player in the NBA. I could definitely see him making $10 million a year, honestly. And then once he becomes a vet, making a vet. Bismarck Biyombo is still in the NBA, bro. So
but he blocks shots and gets rebounds.
That's what I'm saying.
Even though he's an undersized center, he blocks shots and gets
rebounds. Timme gets buckets, bro. Come on. Well, that's not. If he was 7 foot, he would be Tim Duncan.
That's fair, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with it.
The footwork is there, bro.
Yeah, the footwork is definitely there, bro.
The rim protection and rebounding is not, though. What are you?
If he was 7 foot, it would be.
But he's not. That's the only problem.
He's 6'10". I mean, what's that, 2 inches?
Bro, he still got. I mean, I don't even think he's gonna go to the league. I think he's gonna come back.
Hold on, bro. You just said he was 2 inches taller. He'll be Tim Duncan. I'm not over that.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. He got Duncan-like footwork.
Exactly.
Whatever.
In the post on offense, he has Duncan-like footwork, bro.
He probably got Duncan-like off-court swag too, bro. I can see him pulling up in some bad games, bro.
Yeah, bro. You can't let nobody with a mustache like that win the natty, bro.
So talking about these two other guys, but Kody Kispert, a guy that had a lot of hype behind his name in terms of NBA selection. How do you guys feel about his potential in the NBA after seeing this game?
If you want to have a niche in the NBA, I think he should take the Kyle Korver route. But if he wants to, just be a catch and shoot guy coming off the curls, the screens, letting it rain, bro. That'd be his best way to pop off.
I mean, yeah, Kyle Korver, Joe Harris, this 3-point, the corner specialist, that type role, the Desmond Bain role. I think he capable of filling that. We'll see is how high he'll go. I mean, he shot 40% with 3 years in Gonzaga, so he's gonna be able to shoot the basketball. It'll be interesting to see how high a pure specialist like that can go in the draft.
Facts. And so, last question about these 3 Gonzaga guys. We've seen Jalen Suggs. We've seen Cade Cunningham. Which one would you rather have?
Give me Cade Cunningham. I got a lot of reasons, so I'm not gonna say anything. I just think he's a better player. Being 6'8", being able to create off the bounce at that size, that's just something Jalen Suggs can't do. So yeah.
Give me Jalen Suggs, bro. The leadership that he provides, I think it's on a whole nother level.
I'm gonna have to go Cade Cunningham, bro. The only problem I have with Cade Cunningham is that switch, bro. Because sometimes it's off, but he can turn it on immediately. But he's undeniably one of the best players I've seen in college basketball this season, and his ability to take over a game is unmatched, bro. So that's why I got to rock with Cade Cunningham.
He's gonna be a problem. He's gonna. I mean, I know we feel like we keep saying this over and over again. I mean, the number one pick in the draft is supposed to be somebody that a franchise pillar. But we had some pretty good ones in the past couple of years with Zion. But I mean, it's safe to say that Cade Cunningham is gonna be another one.
You think he's bona fide number 1 pick?
I think he's bona fide, bro.
I picked him to go to the national championship game. He let me down. But I'm not going to disagree with y'all. I just think, it's something, Jalen Suggs has that it factor, bro, that makes me want to, be on his team.
So talking about, all these guys with NBA potential who just played in the national championship, now I want to take a bigger look at the NCAA tournament as a whole and see who you guys think are the biggest risers as a result of their play in the tournament.
I'll go first. I want to say 2 Baylor guys. I know it's a little cheating a little bit, but we just talked about Van said that Jalen Suggs was the best player on the court last night. The best player on the court last night for me was MaCio Teague. Somebody that came from HBCU conference, the Big South, UNC Asheville. MaCio Teague, somebody that averaged 21 points a game in the Big South, but he was somebody a mid-major transfer. For him to be able to come in, make an instant impact, not only in the championship game, but all season for Baylor, and to do it consistently. Now, I mean, he's a good 3-point shooter, but to do it off the bounce with the flash, the bad that he did it with, I think that'll be able to really impress a lot of NBA scouts in today's game. Playmaking and shot creation is key. Stuff that Kyrie's highlights go viral every night. So I think that MaCio Teague can bring a lot of that excitement, a lot of that bounce in the NBA. And before even his championship game, I don't think that a lot of scouts really took him seriously as an NBA prospect. But, I mean, honestly, now they have no choice.
Who MaCio Teague reminds me a lot of, bro?
Who?
Tyrese Halliburton, bro. I don't know why, bro, but I just...
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I think
they got the same hits
he
in
didn't
the
really
jump
play
shot,
point
bro.
guard.
Everything.
I knew that's why you said that. And they both light skinned. But I don't think T really is really a point guard, honestly. I think he's more of a guy. I mean, he's the size. But I think he's more of I'm point guard size, but I get buckets.
Yeah.
Rather, Halliburton is more of somebody that I play point guard.
Yeah, facts.
But I mean, that ain't the worst thing you just said. But the other guy I want to talk about, the guy that really impressed me most throughout this season. Not to say that I dislike Jared Butler, but out of the trio, I would have put him third. Davion Mitchell, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year at 6'3", 6'1". So that's always impressive. Donovan Mitchell just risked his sponsorship with Adidas to wear his Baylor jersey. That's pretty awesome when you do something like that. And there's a reason he just did it, because he draws a lot of comparison with him to his game. Sitting out a year coming from Auburn, he was known as somebody that was going to be able to defend. With that, struggled to shoot efficiently and create his own shot. And this year, I don't think we still have struggled to do anything of the sort. 16 assists in the Final Four, the most since Darren Williams. That's going to bode well for him. I just saw right when I was looking it up, Fran Fraschilla told anybody that was going to do a pre-draft workout with Davion Mitchell to pull a hamstring. So I think that a lot of hype is going to come out about him. Not to say that he didn't, but I think college basketball as a whole is waning in popularity and things like that with the G League and different things. So not as many eyes on it as it used to be. So I think, but the national championship will help boost his profile. And I think guys like Frank Schiller and these college analysts, Jeff Goodman, guys like that will put his name in NBA circles. And I think that he'll go in the late lottery and still surprise a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Davion Mitchell, bro. He got that handle. He can create his own shot, and he can lock down. I think he's going to be a problem at the next level. But for me, the first guy I want to start out with, bro, is a guy that, a lot of people didn't even look at in terms of the NBA, and that's Austin Reeves, shooting guard from Oklahoma, bro. He dropped a big performance against Gonzaga in the round of 32, contributed 27 points in that loss, a game that, Oklahoma was in for a majority of the game. And even though, he's a guard, he operates in the mid-range, which is like a strange thing to me. He shoots 47.8% from the mid-range, but he's only a 30% shooter from three. But, shooters shoot, and I think he has an opportunity to become, a good three-point shooter in the NBA. Because, like I said, he's shooting 47% from mid-range, 86% from the free throw line. So the stroke is there. Of course, it's just going to take time to develop. But as a guard, he can create off the dribble. He's crafty. He's not the most athletic guy, but he gets the job done, gets into the lane, and can convert on those pull-up mid-range jumpers. So I think he's a guy that has really jumped and caught the eye of NBA scouts with his performance in the tournament. Although it was only 2 games, they were really impressive. And I think he has a chance to be a late first-round guy to a second-round guy and maybe contribute on the team that's looking for just that, that bench piece that can score and defend and, just kind of generate offense off the bench. But my second guy that is a big riser from March Madness, it's got to be Johnny Juzang, bro. Johnny Buckets, whatever you want to call him, bro. He was the engine that led UCLA on this Final Four run, bro. You think about his journey, going to Kentucky first, only playing 12 minutes a game, and then transferring to UCLA, bro. So this season, he averaged 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists on the regular season. But listen to his point totals in March Madness. 23 points versus Michigan State, 27 versus BYU, 17 versus Abilene Christian, 13 versus Bama, but 28 versus Michigan, and that's number 1 Michigan, and 29 versus Gonzaga. So 2 1 seeds. He almost reached 30 points, bro. And he showed an ability to create on all 3 levels and get his shot. And he was able to really shoulder that UCLA offense with his size and versatility in scoring. So I think Johnny Juzang, bro, you're looking at a lottery pick in Juzang, I think, just because of his performance in March.
No, I definitely like Reeves' game. A big guard that can play, has feel for the game. Juzang, I'm not so bullish on, but I definitely like Reeves, and I definitely want to see what a team can do with him. Like baby Tyreek Evans. He's white, but it's not it's similar size and frame and play style to me.
I could see Reeves having like a Peyton Pritchard type effect. You look at Pritchard, older guard, gets drafted out of Oregon by the Celtics, steps into that bench point guard role and really contributes to that Celtics team in need of, bench offense. So
I like both you guys' picks, bro. Honestly, if it was originally I was gonna take Davion Mitchell and Johnny Juzang, but I see both of you guys took them. So first guy I'm gonna go with is Villanova big man Jeremiah Robinson Earl against Winthrop. He dropped 22, 11 and 6. Once tourney time started, you got to kick it in. That's what stars are made. North Texas 18, 6 and 6 against Baylor. He had 8 points and 12 rebounds. And the thing that really impressed me out of all of these things was his assist numbers. Villanova lost 2 of their best guards in Colin Gillespie and Justin Moore right before tourney time started, bro. So to get 6 assists against Winthrop, 6 assists against North Texas, just to show that you can control the game from the middle of the court, bro. That's pretty impressive, especially the way the NBA is going now, bro. Everybody has to be a playmaker, bro. You gotta be able to shoot and you gotta be able to make plays. I think Jeremiah Robinson Earl showed that. At 6'9", 230. If he improves that 3-point ball, bro, it's gonna get scary. He can do anything he wants. The next guy I'm gonna take is the mid-major guy, Max Avis out of Oral Roberts. Against Ohio State. He was hooping against them. They were sending death threats to the players of Ohio State. That's how ugly it got. 29 points against them. The leading scorer in the NCAA at 24.5 points per game. Against Florida, SEC power. He dropped 26, bro. And Trey Mann over there, he was one of the biggest risers, and he did him dirty. 26 on his head. Then against Arkansas, Moses Moody, Arkansas had a squad, probably the best in the SEC. 25 points on their head. So I just, he reminds me of CJ McCollum, bro. Just the way he's a bucket getter, bro. No matter what, he gonna go find that bucket, bro. I like it. If it's me, I'm drafting him.
I like your comparison, bro. But I had a better one, bro, just because of his size, bro. He kind of has that herky-jerky game like Isaiah Thomas did, bro. Another small guard, bro, gets the job done with the 3-ball and the quick flashes to the rim, bro. He just reminds me so much of IT4, bro.
NFL draft news, my New York Jets have made some waves. We made the waves of free agency, but
my New York Jets.
On me. Hold on, bro. Why you checking me, bro?
I'm not. I ain't never heard it in my life.
E-T-S. Jets.
Nigga, you from Memphis? All right, continue.
I was just saying, I'm gonna let y'all get it out, bro. I mean, that's all right. I'm good. The New York Jets have made some NFL draft news by trading away this quarterback Sam Darnold. 3 years, nothing too impressive. Didn't have the best supporting cast around him, so it'll be interesting to see what he does in Carolina. Honestly, they got 2021 6th rounder, 2022 second rounder, two other picks, something like that. So he was the third overall pick. So obviously not getting the first rounder back would have been the goal. But obviously you want to better get that back for some subpar quarterback play. So it looks like they're locking in Zach Wilson, and I mean honestly I would prefer Justin Fields. I mean Zach Wilson doesn't really look that much different from Sam Darnold to me. Honestly, the numbers. Zach Wilson had pretty similar numbers to Donald's sophomore year. I mean, it's in his junior year before he entered the draft. And Sam Darnold won a Rose Bowl. Zach Wilson couldn't be coach of Carolina, so that's pretty concerning. But do y'all? I mean, obviously y'all already clowned me, but do y'all have any legitimate thoughts to say? Anything to add?
Yeah. So one thing with me, bro, talking about how bad the Jets are, not only as a football team but as a franchise, bro. Sam Darnold is the 6th consecutive first-round pick the Jets have traded, bro. It's like they get young talent, bro, and they ship it right off, bro. You look at Sheldon Richardson, safety Calvin Pryor, Leonard Williams, Darren Lee, Jamal Adams, and now Sam Darnold, bro. That's a lot of first-round talent that you're giving up on very early, bro. And so, but looking at Sam Darnold, bro, I think he has a chance to really flourish in Carolina. You look at what he did in New York, 13-25 as a starter, 45 touchdowns, only 39 interceptions, and only completing around 60% of his passes. But when you take it into context, bro, it's not that bad. You look at it, he's played 3 years under 2 head coaches, 2 different offensive systems, and he's never had a 1,000-yard receiver or a 1,000-yard rusher, and the offensive line was a revolving door. Now he's stepping into a situation in Carolina where his mobility and arm talent can really shine as he's playing with offensive playmakers such as Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, who he played with in New York previously, and DJ Moore, bro. So I think he can have really a bounce-back season and show what he's really capable of in the NFL and an established franchise.
I'm gonna agree with Nick on this one. I'm gonna say Sam Darnold wasn't given the proper opportunity to be the quarterback for the New York Jets. When you think about the quarterbacks, they have gone through a whole bunch of has-beens, a whole bunch of washed-up players, bro. Sam Darnold was a fresh face on a new team, bro, and he was actually pretty deep for the Jets, bro, without having any protection. He had a few good, decent wide receivers in Crowder, Robbie Anderson. Man, I think Shear would have been his best chance to shine. They just signed Corey Davis. They was gonna have an offensive line, finally protect him. But it really just depends on if the Jets hit or miss on this pick. Now, it's the hit and who's the miss, that's to be determined, bro. We won't know until about maybe 2 or 3 years.
But I will say, though, I don't blame the Jets on moving on from Sam Darnold because you think about it, bro, it's a whole new era in New York. You bring in Robert Saleh as your new head coach, bro. You want him to start fresh with who he wants at center. So if this is the path the Jets take, like Van said, it depends on who they take in number 2 and how who they take develops over the course of his New York Jets career.
I mean, I have no problem with y'all saying that we gave up a hit too early. Like I still think that Justin Fields will be the second best quarterback in this draft after Trevor Lawrence. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Zach Wilson can do with what's supposed to be Sam Darnold's weapons.
That's facts. And I also think, bro, you look at Carolina, they got the number 8 pick in the draft too, bro. And so with San Francisco trading into that top 3 and they're potentially going to take a quarterback, that frees Carolina up to take whoever the best player available is. And if somehow Kyle Pitts falls into their hands, bro, that's going to be a very dangerous offense in Carolina, bro. I just want to say watch out for that.
Mm-hmm. They might not be done making moves because they still got Bridgewater. You got 2 quarter. I mean, they might keep him. Who knows? Have a QB battle and just keep both of them. But we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, they did say they were going to work with Teddy B on whatever his future was to be, whether he wants to be traded, whether he wants to compete for the job, because you got to think they just signed him to a 3-year, $63 million deal last year. So obviously they had some faith in him, but I think it will be interesting to see what they do with Teddy B, and if they do move him, what they bring back in return.
Okay, I want to see what kind of return what kind of bite they get on that contract, because that's starting QB money right there, at least for that amount of time.
That's facts, bro. And I mean, in all fairness to Teddy, bro, some things were out of his control, bro. But he played a pretty decent season for what you'd expect him to do, bro. He missed some games, yeah, but I think he had a solid run this year. And I could see a number of teams potentially making a move at Teddy B to bring in competition. You look at Chicago, you look at Houston. There are teams, you look at Miami even, there are teams that could use some quarterback help in terms of depth or just to bring in competition. I think Teddy B fits that role perfectly.
I just got a question for Josh, bro.
What's up?
Do you actually sit down on the couch and eat food and watch Jets games?
When I had the ability
to, how does that work?
Yes, I do. Man, next segment, man. I'm gonna cut that man out. I ain't hoping the type of way.
So, of course, another episode of No Cap Sports, another segment of Game Balls, man. I'm gonna start it off as always. I gotta give my ball to Kyrie, the sage burning Irving. You know what I'm saying, man? He really turned up, in a Nets-Knicks rivalry game, dropping 40 points with 2 rebounds and 7 assists, bro. He was doing things with a basketball, bro, that would have been illegal if James Naismith was still alive, bro. I'm talking about crossing over, bro. I was just watching it, bro. It's like poetry in motion, bro. Like, you really can't stop Kyrie when he gets in that mode, bro. It's like he does things with a basketball, bro, that's like, you just got to sit back and watch, bro. He's a Harlem Globetrotter playing NBA basketball, bro. And so for that, bro, he gets my game ball, bro.
Best point guard in the NBA?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, actually, second best. Forgot about Captain Clutch, Mike Conley.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna let you ride with that one, bro.
He don't play for the Grizzlies anymore, bro. You don't gotta do that for.
I was just about to say, that's not our guy anymore, Nick. Like, you're supposed to be saying Josh. Somebody said Mike Conley.
He still is better than
Master Mamba.
I die on that hill.
No cap, bro.
I die on that hill. They on the same level. All right, bro. But keeping up with the Easter spirit, bro, the spirit of Easter, bro. I'm gonna talk about Revival, and this program is gonna get my game ball for the Revival this past weekend. That's gonna be UCLA, bro. They got Mick Cronin. That's a A+ hire, bro. Mick Cronin is the perfect guy to bring a program back to relevancy. And they revived Johnny Juzang's NBA career, bro. I think he went from, maybe first round getting drafted. He definitely would have got drafted, but I think now, as long as he have a nice little pro day, then he's definitely gonna be a lottery pick, bro. I like what I saw. At UCLA, they gonna be here to come. They got Amari Bailey coming in next season. Bona fide top 5 recruit. Mick Cronin, he has them hooping. UCLA's be back on top.
I like it. Mick Cronin coming from a program like Cincinnati. Cincinnati, Ohio is a lot different from Los Angeles, California, but apparently he brought his toughness and that intensity with him to LA. So that was good. My game ball, I'm going to give it to a former HBCU attending graduate, Davion Warren. Runner-up for the Big South Player of the Year, just averaged 21 points a game in the Big South Conference for Hampton, and he's the first, hopefully, mini commitment for Memphis basketball, Penny Hardaway. So 6'6", 210, somebody that had several D1 entries coming out of high school, was a 3-star guy. So hopefully, somebody. As I said, as an HBCU graduate, because he'll graduate from Hampton in December, then head to campus in May. Hopefully he can bring some of that punch that we needed. Something like we had a lot of success with Leonard Nolly out of the portal last year. So hopefully, Davion can duplicate that success coming from the HBCU.
Quick game ball to Nick Hayes also. They had a voting at Millsaps College. What did you win again, Nick? Let us know. Director of Operations.
Executive Director of Programming, bro. In charge of all
Stop playing with that boy. Feisty coming to Jackson, Mississippi soon, bro.
No cap. Big brr. So with that, man, that's another episode of No Cap Sports in the Books, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, checking us out. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. And, as always, bro, stay safe, and we out of here.
Do the thing.
Journey line.